the Chicago Bears are trash. Let's just call it what it is. They're not a good organization. Okay, you really breaking it down. Look at me when I'm talking to you right now.
He's doing his
you
little
sit
notes.
up there,
Dan,
you sit up there taking notes on the Chicago Bears. Why don't you just call them the bad news Bears? It's a damn shame they represent the city of Chicago. They stink. Okay, now let's get this out the way. First of all, let's understand something here. We don't even want to get into the 2021 quarterback class. I mean, outside of Trevor Lawrence, because that brother is that brother. But let's get something straight. Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. I mean, damn, it's an atrocity right now.
No, it's not.
Zach Wilson and Justin Fields is. Not Mac Jones.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, obviously.
Mac Jones is playing good.
Really? Okay. Listen, I'm not saying he's playing bad. I'm not talking about him. I'm just trying to say the state of affairs with this quarterback class. You're taking it literally. Stay attention, okay?
Stay with
Listen
me.
to what I'm saying to you.
Stay
Justin Fields. There's 3 quarterbacks in NFL history that have rushed for 1,000 yards in this season. We all know who those 3 are, right? Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson,
Yes.
Justin Fields last season, okay? We're talking about Justin Fields, a 1,000-yard runner. He's only had 5 designed runs for a grand total of 1 yard thus far in the first 2 games. Now, he averaged 5 design runs for 28 yards per game last season. Why are you not running him more? Why are you not getting him out of the pocket? Why are you not using his athleticism? Because clearly, you're trying to make him into something that he's not, which is why there was some slippage there as it pertains to talking about the coaches. Now he's trying to cover himself because you don't want to be that dude, particularly being so young, to really call out the fact that, damn, I'm in a bad situation. I'm not being well coached here. I'm not being well represented here. He had to cover his tracks. So we got to understand that his youth, basically exposed him to a degree where he said something he should not have said. But we all know he's telling the truth.
Sure. Yeah.
We know he's not lying. We just know this. Listen, that's number one. I just got some stats here because I want to throw them out to you because I think this is important for you to understand. I mean, not to understand because I know you understand, Dan, but just know. Just know, okay?
Can I take notes on them?
You take notes, okay?
Thank you. Write that down.
5 for 22 as a starter. You know this. Sacked the league high 101 times since joining the NFL in 2021. Okay,
Yep.
That's just me getting started. So far in 2022, 2 games, he's been sacked 10 times. Now he's been at least partially responsible for about 6 of them, holding on to the ball too damn long, et cetera, et cetera. We get all of that, okay? So we understand that. League low 22.7% of his pass attempts have traveled beyond 10 yards. So he's dipping and dunking most of the time, okay? We understand that, okay? We got that going on. 5 and 6, actually, for 108 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions on deep passes this season of 20 or plus. You would think they'd have him doing more. Oh, no. They can't make up their mind.
Are there more stats?
Oh, yeah, I got more. I got more.
You know I watch every snap, right?
I know you do.
Okay.
I know you do. Now, see,
Lord.
I understand you do, but I also know you're lying because while you're watching every snap, you're watching multiple games. You're only a human being. I got, you know how many TVs I got? Well, actually, you don't know. But when I invite you over to the crib, you're going to see how many TVs I got. You can't watch every single play. You got 2 eyes, not 7.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's important. So I understand when you say it, but you're not being literal about it because you can't possibly watch every snap of every game unless you go home and watch.
I'm not going to let you lie about me.
Yeah,
I watch every snap every week.
How many children do you have?
It's very important that the people know that Daniel is smart.
Can we
It's very
get through the
important.
stats?
Focus. How many children do you have?
I have 4.
4 kids. 4 kids and a
Wife?
wife. And you
Client?
watching every snap of
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Please. Stop it.
please.
Stop it. It's impossible. It's impossible. And you cheat
For
too.
humans.
And you cheat too.
For
So you only probably got 1 or 2 TVs. And you cheat too. Really? Come on, man.
Wow.
I'll stop right there, Molly, with the stats right now. I got more, but I'm just pointing out you're not utilizing Justin Fields correctly. Everybody and their grandmama knows it. He was
used
wrong to
15
point out.
minutes to tell us
excuse me,
what our eyeballs
actually,
can already see.
Actually, y'all finished at 10:12. It is 10:16.
We started at 10:08.
Because you were throwing out the pitch.
Yeah.
You were throwing out the first pitch.
But here's my pushback on.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Here's my pushback on the whole Justin Fields and the coaching staff thing. The stats you rattled off last year, it's with the same coaching staff.
Yeah.
So I
They were
think
bad last year. Some of them last year.
But
He looked better last year.
100%. I mean,
That's
he
what doesn't
accounted
make
for,
sense.
I think, 25 touchdowns last year, and they had the number 1 pick for a reason. That's where it leads me to this, Stephen A. Kim Molly. It leads me to 2 questions. Because Justin was asked, well, why are you playing hesitant, this and that? And he says, coaching, whether he wants it or not. First of all, they ran the same screen. This is the same screen in this game 3 times in a row. That's the first one. This is the second one. On this play, Chase Claypool gets a penalty. And then the very next play, it's a screen for a pick six. It's the same exact screen to the same exact side against the same exact defense. So that's coaching. Okay, here's my pushback on it. If Justin Fields showed such promise at the end of last year and became one of those 3 quarterbacks for run for 1,000 yards, and that coaching staff is intact, I have 2 questions. One, why is he playing slow if it's the same coaching that made him play a little bit faster last year, got him to play a little bit better last year? Why is he playing slow? And if you know that they're misusing him and you know that they're not using quarterback run enough, why? Because as much as we want to think we are, those coaches are smart coaches in Chicago. They know what they're doing. So if all of us see it, either you're a...
So what do you...
I don't know.
What are you insinuating? Because here's the deal. This is what I take from, I deduce from what happened. He comes out here, he says coaching, he's not happy, et cetera. Somebody gets to him a couple hours later after practice, then he has to say all the right quarterback type things.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you're still saying his talent hasn't changed. You're putting it on the coaching, and the coaches should be smarter than we are. So why are they not putting him in a position to succeed towards the end when we saw him having success?
Not win-loss success last year, but we saw.
That was excellent. I just
Steven,
want to say
correct.
that was excellent.
Thank you.
Correct.
No,
And I
I'm
think
just
she
trying to
really,
break
really,
it.
she really listens
are
to
you acting
Dan.
like
She
that's
very rarely
new?
listens to me, but very good.
Listen, I just feel like in layman's terms, I
Right.
want to get to the crux of what the conversation is.
And that is exactly where I think, and Molly, I don't think there's a bunch of answers here. Like, why are they not doing it? Number
Because
one,
they don't want him there?
are they scared that he gets hurt? So is it, well, we don't want to run him a lot because if he gets hurt, we're not going to win any games.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play that way. I also don't think you should coach a dynamic talent that way. You drafted him in part because of the athleticism.
Okay.
Number 2, that someone from Justin's camp has gone to the Bears and said, don't run him because their fear of injury. Those are assumptions. That I have no proof of that, but that would be a reason why it happens. Or number 3, that they believe that it's most important this year for them to figure out how he can be or what he can be as a pocket passer going into next year because they could potentially have 2 top 5 picks. And so they're forcing him in many ways. I think it's one of those 3. I don't know the answers.
Eberflus, the coach, head coach, wasn't he a defensive coordinator?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
At Indiana?
Yes.
And this offensive coordinator, let's see, is that his name?
Luke Getsy.
Getsy.
I think he's a
He
smart
was from
offensive football
Green
mind.
Bay.
I think he's a smart offensive football mind, a former passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach before he became. So you got a first-time offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
And you got a defensive coordinator that is now your head coach.
Yes, sir.
Now, you might be bright in terms of the ideas, but it's about the talent that you have and how you maturate things to that person. That is the one thing all of you football minds have taught me over the years. It's not just about coaching. You got a lot of people that look the part when they're talking X's and O's and what they can put up on the board or whatever. But do you know your personnel?
Right.
Do you know their limitations? Have you mastered them?
Right.
And I'm saying to you, the Chicago Bears don't look like a team that's doing
but
that.
he
And I
looked
think
better
that
Dan's
last
point, they
year.
were last year, and now
doesn't
they're
make
not.
sense.
So that's why it's a little
And they added
curious
a
right
guy.
now.
And they added a guy at wide receiver.
They
in
So
the
what's
last
the
2 years.
plan? Yes. Are they trying to protect him, or are they thinking about the future and what you're saying and seeing what he can do with his arm? But with that being said, I'll ask you this. If everybody's intentions are positive, right?
Sure.
Justin Fields and the team and the coaching staff, do you think at this point just some situations are not meant to be and it's time for both parties to move on?
Yeah, sometimes you got to walk away, yes.
I'm not there yet. You know what I honestly think the Bears should do? They should call Greg Roman, who's the ex-offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, and maybe not make him the offensive coordinator, but I say you bring him in.
And say, this is how you work with this kind of guy.
Here's my thing, and I get mad when people say this,
Boy.
and I thought Justin would play better. It's really difficult for me to look at Justin Fields and say, you can't get him to play really good football. Maybe he'll never be a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen from the pocket or a Joe Burrow. I don't know. I think he has the talent to be. Yeah. But there's no way that you can't get that guy to scare defenses. There's no way that you can't get that guy to be utilized.
That's literally what they're doing, though. There's no way. There is a way. They're showing us that there's a way.
Yes, in my eyes. And I think if they called Greg Roman and brought Greg Roman in and said, I'm going to use you the way I use Lamar, I wish they could hire Nick Sirianni. I wish they could hire Brian Dable.
So why didn't you just sit up there and say, Stephen A., you're absolutely right? Because I brought up Getsy, who was the passing game coordinator. He's a rookie offensive coordinator. I brought up the head coach, who's defensive coordinator.
Right.
And I said, Dan Orlovsky, you got a rookie at the offensive coordinator, and you got the damn defensive coordinator. Maybe you got dudes, okay, that didn't really know. They living off of last year, didn't know how to make the necessary adjustments to elevate his level of play, and you need somebody else up in there. And you were like, Getsy's a really, really smart offensive mind. Why didn't you just say they needed something new?
Because it hasn't. It's not the fact that it hasn't elevated from last year. It's the fact that it went backwards of last year.
Getsy needs help.
No, but Dan, this offseason, you have really high hopes for this kid, Justin Fields.
I thought he would play MVP-level football, yes.
Exactly.
And from what I still think he can.
It's the same staff.
It's
the same
correct.
staff. It's the same kid. A kid who we
Maybe
saw
he needs a
despite
fresh
but here's my
start.
Is it possible
Fresh start.
that the opposition, meaning opposing coaches, have figured out those coaches?
No, because they're
and
not
as a
even
result,
trying
as a result, schematically, they know what they're going to do.
Did you
and
watch?
Stephen A., they're saying you're not putting him in a position to succeed for a skill set.
Did you watch my breakdown on NFL Live by any chance?
I did not.
Okay, so there's two clips. It's the ones that went on the viral. Did you see the ones where the guy's down the seam on the? What did you say?
They went viral. Help me, Lord.
No, not my clip. The clips that went viral. The running back.
It sounded like you saying your clip.
Guys, I'm being told we have to bump.
It sounded like you said.
Honestly,
I can't.
Can I be honest with you guys? I feel like this segment we were like the bad news bears. So we need to all huddle up.